Hi guys, good morning to you. I want to believe you are all doing fine and you are learning very well from the previous video I've posted. Okay, quick one this morning. If you look at this topology I have before me, you will notice that it has actually changed in structure from the last one. The last one we used two network and a router. Here we are having two routers, and the fact that we are having two routers, you notice that there's a network also in between the two routers. Okay, let me quickly bring your attention to this. I told you can use this zoom in. You can zoom in to make your work, the topology bigger. Can you see it? And you can also zoom out. When you zoom out, it goes back to the original state. Look at it. Then let me zoom out. Zoom in again. Zoom in. Then you can use navigation bar to control what you are seeing and where you want to see the topology. Having said that, if you look critically at this topology right now, we have three networks. That is 192. This network on this left hand side, that's 192.168.30.0/24 network. On my right hand side, there's another network there. That is 192.168.60.0/24 network. That's a class C IP address with class C default subnet mask. Also in between the two routers, we have another network, 192.168.80.0 network, that is connected between the gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0 of the routers. You can see it on both sides. Good. Now, what do we do in this case? Like I told you, we need to configure the routers quickly. We have to configure the routers quickly. We configure the router interfaces. Each of the router has two interfaces that you have to configure. That router 1 has two interfaces. That is one of the interface, GIG 0/0/1, and the other one is GIG 0/0/0. Okay. Now before that, let me quickly work on the PC. Let me quickly configure the PC. I told you this is the IP address that we use for these two PC here. And the first IP address, which is 192.168.30.1, I will reserve it for the router interface here. So I can start assigning my IP addresses on the PC on the host from .2. Okay, let me quickly do that. I go to PC0, a click, and I go to desktop, and I go to IP config. Then on the static IP configuration here, I'll say 192.168.1, don't forget, .30.2. .30.2. Okay, the subnet max with class C by default automatic. Then I need IP default gateway, which is 1. If you look at the diagram very well, I told you this router interface here will reserve the first IP address on this network for it. So that's settled for now. Let me go to the second PC, click, I go to desktop, I come to IP config, I'll make that one .3, 30.3, the same subnet mask, and default IP gateway will be .1 as well, because that's the point through which they get to another network. Okay, now that's fine by that. Let me go to the second side on the DOC 60.0 network. I will use 60.2. I use 60.2 for that IP, 60.2 tab. Then 60.1 as the default gateway. 60.1 as the default gateway. That one is settled. Then I go to the second one here. Go to desktop. I go to IP configuration, and I'll do the same thing. That is 60.3 Y tab. Then let me do the default gateway. That will be 60.1. That's the default gateway on the router interface. Remember, on this other side, on this interface here. So for these that's the default gateway for this router interface. That's router interface gig.0/0/1. Okay, let's close that. The PCs are fine. I've configured all the PC from PC 0 to PC 3. Now quickly let's go to the router interface and configure the router interface. How do I do that? I told you I would like to be doing this on the command line interface. So I click on router 1. Once I click on the router, I go to command line. Then I'll enable the router. I'm already in user exec mode. Let me enable the router. Enable, enter, then config T tab. Config on conf T tab. That takes me to the global configuration mode where I can assign the IP address. Which of these router I want to assign the IP address for? You can see I'm on router 1 right now. So what I would do, there are two interfaces on the router 1. The one at the bottom linking the switch here facing switch 0 is GIG interface, INT interface, GIG 0/0/1. That's the interface. Now I want to give it an IP address. What IP address do I give it? The same IP address that we set in the default gateway, and that's IP add address. That's 192.168.30.1. That's the default gateway. Then you do subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Enter. It has taken the IP. And there's another one important thing I have to do. If you look at the interface now, it's shut down. That's why it's showing red. I have to bring it up with no shutdown command. No shutdown command. Can you see? If you look at it, it has changed the line protocol. Line protocol up, meaning that the connection is up, and it also changed the state up. So that's about that router. There's another IP address I need to do on this interface. On this interface here, that will be on the network 80.0. You can see on network 80.0. So let's see what it look like. I'll go back to that interface. What is that interface on network 80.0? That is INT interface GIG. That's 0/0/0. Enter. It has taken me to the interface, and I can quickly configure the IP address on it. And what's the IP address on it? That's 80.1. 80.1. I will reserve 80.1 for this guy, for this side, and 80.2 for the other side. 80.1. Then my subnet mask 255.255.255.0. That settles it. Then I also turn the interface up with or on with no shutdown command. That's settled on that for that router. Now on the router 0 here, don't forget here I've used 80.1 here. I will use 80.2 on this other side. So now let me go back to the router 0 and configure it quickly like we did there. Don't forget that the interface 0/0/1 that is facing down on the router, that's gigabit Ethernet 0/1/0/0/0/1 facing down, we take 192.168.60.1 IP. While this other side that I'm pointing out, we take 192.168.80.2 because I've already used .1 at the other side. So let me get to the router command line. Let me enable to go to tab, then I go config. Let me go to configuration, config T. That's taking me to global configuration mode, and I will just do interface. Which of the interface I want to configure now? This one facing down. This one facing down is actually GIG 0/0/1 interface. I've entered the interface. You can see config if. Then what is the address I'm putting there? IP 192.168.60.1. That's the IP for that side, and you have to put the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Enter. No, there's an error there. And one good thing about this is you point to you where the error is. Do you know what the error is? I did not put IP. I just put IP. I didn't put address. Okay, enter. It has taken it. Then I have to issue a no short command. You can arrow up. If you don't have it, just type it out. No short. No short. That's no shutdown. Enter. It has changed the state. If you look at the router now, look at this interface. It's trying to come up. It's trying to come up here. It will finally turn green at some point. So let me configure the second interface, which is the interface 0/0. That's the one at the upper part. 0/0. Don't forget the one at the upper part here. I've already used 80.1 for this left side. Then on the right hand side I use 80.2. So let me go back to that guy. Okay, let me scroll this thing a bit so that we can have a look at the screen as I'm configuring. Okay, good. Let me go back here. Okay, I'll drag this one a little bit. Okay, now you see where am I configuring now? This second side, and the IP address I'm using is, let me go back to the IP I'm using. The IP address is .80 in this case. That's 80.2. Don't forget I've used 80.1. So now I can say, I can put default gate, subnet mask 255.255.0. That's all. Then make sure that is not short. Can you see everything turn green immediately? Okay, good. That's how to configure the IP addresses on the router interface through the command line. Okay, let's do some basic tests and of what we have able to do so far. Let me pick a simple PDU. Let me add it from this PC 0 to PC 1. Successful. Can I ping to the router interface PC 0 to router 1 interface? Successful. PC 0 to router 0 interface is not successful. Okay, let's ping from here. PC 2 to the router interface, is it successful? Yes, it's successful. Let me do that again. PDU, simple PDU from here to here. Is it successful? Yes. Is it successful here? But now we're having only one issue. I cannot send from .30 network to .60 network because this router 1 is connected to this network and this network, but it does not know anything about this network. You have to give it information about how to reach this network. Same with this one. On router 0, this is directly connected. 60.0 and 80.0 are directly connected, but it does not know how to get to 30.0. So I will show you how to do that in the next lecture. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Bye for now.